Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of our Canon EOS VR system masterclass. Post-production is where we take the footage we captured and prepare them to be viewed on VR headsets. Whether it's spatial 3D video or immersive 180-degree 3D video, these headsets are all fantastic ways for your audience to experience your story. Today we're going to focus on post-production techniques when working with 3D footage that was captured using the RF-S7.8mm F4 STM Dual lens. There is a lot to cover here. We're going to start by going over processing clips using Canon's EOS VR utility software for both editing and directly sending to your VR headsets. Then we'll cover editing techniques with Final Cut Pro and DaVinci Resolve Studio. These NLEs are great choices for working with spatial 3D footage. I've added chapter markers to make it easy to get to the section you want. In addition to having a VR headset, I highly recommend picking up a pair of these anaglyph glasses. They will help you quickly see how the stereoscopic 3D effect is working on your computer monitor. Okay, are you ready? Let's dive in. The Canon EOS VR utility software is your first step in working with footage shot on the Canon EOS VR system. It will help you prepare your 3D clips for viewing on VR headsets and get your files ready for editing. I like to think of this like developing my footage. Before we begin, we should make sure that we have the Canon EOS VR utility software installed, as well as the HEVC activator that matches your camera body. The Canon EOS VR utility software is free to process the first 2 minutes of footage. However, for full functionality, you'll want to subscribe to a paid plan. You can find plan details and downloads at the links on the screen below. Today, I'm working on a Mac Studio, but the process is very similar on Windows. I'm going to File, Select Folder, to select the folder containing all the clips I copied over from our production. The clips get loaded into this panel on the left, and clicking on one will begin to process it for preview in this main central area. Here, we can select an in and out point in case we want to trim out part of our clip. On the right side, we have our VR correction tools. Under Export Format on macOS, we have 3D 180, 3D Theater, and Spatial. Windows users will not have the Spatial option, but we'll go over how to create spatial videos for Windows users using DaVinci Resolve Studio later in this video. There are a lot of features I can use to improve my capture if I need to, including image stabilization and horizon correction. Parallax correction is checked by default. The R7, R50, and R50V do not support RAW video capture, so the RAW development tab is grayed out. Let's go over how to export the clips directly for sharing if you don't plan on editing your clips together. This is the fastest way to see what you've captured the same way that your audience will. For users with an Apple Vision Pro and using the macOS version of the utility, you can render 3D spatial files for a fast workflow. Here, under Export Format, select 3D Spatial. We have a choice of aspect ratio, 1:1 or 16:9. I'm going to choose 16:9 since that is what I framed for on set. Now hit Export. It defaults to an MV HEVC file with the LUT applied. The resulting file can easily be sent to the Vision Pro using AirDrop. These shots are looking great. And this is a very easy and fast workflow for macOS users with an Apple Vision Pro. If we're preparing our files for editing, or using a Windows PC, or want to maximize compatibility across platforms, we will want to select 3D Theater as our export format. 3D Theater is a side-by-side format that works without any additional conversion on Meta Quest and Android XR headsets. It's also compatible with YouTube and supports ProRes, making it the best choice for editorial workflows. Here, we have 3D Theater selected as our export format. I hit Export, and we have some different settings in this dialog. For rendering clips directly compatible with Meta Quest, Android XR headsets, and YouTube, select Mode 2 in the Render options. Mode 2 renders a half side-by-side H.264 420 8-bit MP4 file ready to be viewed on headsets or uploaded directly to YouTube. Since we're planning on editing our footage, Let's choose Mode 1 and render out ProRes full side-by-side files. Final Cut Pro has great support for spatial video. The direct integration with Apple's ecosystem makes working with and delivering spatial video incredibly simple. Let's create a new project. We'll set the video format to Spatial Stereo 3D. Our resolution will be 1920 by 1080 per eye. We'll set 29.97 as our frame rate. Our hero eye will be left. The hero eye is which eye is prioritized when using MVHEVC files on platforms that don't render stereoscopic 3D. When you import a clip rendered from the EOS VR utility software, Final Cut Pro automatically recognizes it as a 3D clip, whether you exported a spatial clip or the side-by-side ProRes in Mode 1. Let's look at the settings and make sure we tell the software what kind of media we're working with. Here, we set the projection mode to rectangular. We set stereoscopic conform to side-by-side. When you add a clip to the timeline, we get stereoscopic controls over here. In the View menu, we can see the anaglyph. This image, when viewed using a pair of anaglyph 3D glasses, can help you see the 3D on a flat screen. Using the convergence controls, we can dial in the convergence per shot. The convergence is where the red and cyan line up perfectly. This is where your eyes usually focus best in stereoscopic 3D, so typically, it's best to match the convergence of the shot to the subject of your scene, which in our case are the cookies on the stand. Final Cut also makes it easy to throw in titles on your spatial footage and place them in 3D space. Here, I'll add a 3D title, adjust the convergence, and play back. Easy. When you're ready to export, if you are targeting Apple Vision Pro, there is an HEVC preset ready for you. It's important to select Settings and adjust the parameters so the lens metadata will match. Our field of view is 56.2 degrees with a baseline of 11.8mm. The spatial settings are compatible with uploading to Vimeo, which is a great platform to share your spatial 3D videos. If you are publishing to other platforms that do not support MVHEVC, you can export out an H.265 file for you to be able to view directly on MetaQuest or Android XR headsets. The file will automatically pack the two eyes in a single side-by-side file, left and right. Let's now turn to editing spatial 3D in DaVinci Resolve Studio. DaVinci Resolve Studio offers a powerful stereoscopic 3D toolset and is a great option for Mac and Windows users. We'll set up our timeline to be 1920 by 1080. Under Project Settings, General Options, we should make sure that Apply Stereoscopic Convergence to Windows and Effects is checked. If you exported a spatial clip, they will automatically be recognized as 3D. If you imported the side-by-side media, we need to tell DaVinci Resolve these clips are 3D. We do this by right-clicking and choosing Clip Attributes, and set the stereoscopic mode to side-by-side. Most of DaVinci Resolve's stereoscopic tools are located in the Color page. Here is where you can preview your footage using anaglyph mode. This mode is helpful to make sure that any titles I add don't conflict with the stereoscopic 3D of the scene. I can move the title forward or backward in space using this slider called Convergence. You want to use this tool to make sure that the 3D depth of your titles don't clip the 3D depth of your image. We'll move our title forward in 3D space so it looks good. When you are ready to export, head to the Deliver page where you can select QuickTime and choose H.265 as the codec. For stereoscopic 3D, if you are delivering to Apple Vision Pro or plan to publish on a platform that supports spatial video such as Vimeo, select MVHEVC. We'll need to check the box to enable the spatial metadata and enter in the following settings: horizontal field of view at 56.2 degrees, a baseline of 11.8mm, and a disparity adjustment of 1.12. Vimeo rolled out support for spatial 3D video last year and is a great destination for spatial 3D projects. Final Cut Pro and DaVinci Resolve Studio both support exporting the correctly encoded files for Vimeo. Vimeo's native app on Apple Vision Pro is a great place to watch this content. Watching 3D videos in a VR headset is like watching the best 3D TV you've ever seen. The quality is outstanding. And for filmmakers wanting to tell stories with a frame, it adds a new dimension to your storytelling. For those filmmakers who are embracing the frameless medium of VR, the next episode is for you, where we're going to cover how to edit and share your 180-degree 3D VR videos shot with the Canon EOS VR system. See you there.